Hello students, a very good morning. So students, in last class we were discussing about intermolecular forces in our last discussion. So as you have seen the graph or a plot between force and this intermolecular separation. So we have seen up to some limit it is attractive and up to some limit it is repulsive, and they are very short range, means up to the limit of 0 to 10 angstrom only they are working. So that's why we are saying them short range forces. So that is, I think, now clear. So in next class also we have discussed that the intermolecular forces that are of two types. One is force of cohesion, second is force of adhesion or adhesive force, cohesive force. So let's see now one by one these two forces now. So first force, that is we have force of adhesion, or also this is known as adhesive force. So adhesive force is what? It is the force of attraction acting between the molecules of different substances. Suppose you have two different substances, obviously they will contain a large number of molecules. So if force will that is acting between the molecules of that two, like whenever you can understand, like water weights the surface of glass container. So glass container, glass is different substance, water is different substance. But even whenever we will just throw the water on the glass container, it weights that one. Weighting means the water molecules that are reacting, or that is feeling interaction with the glass molecule. So this is, now you can see the force that is acting between two molecules of two different substances. One is water, the second is glass. So it is known as now the adhesive force, and this is example of adhesive force now. So you can understand it by the help of a lot of examples, like you can see also the different, like water is weighting our cloths, then that time cloth molecule and water molecule both are interacting, force of adhesion is acting there. You can understand this one. Also here one more thing, force of adhesion that is different for different substances. For example, gum, you will see the gum has greater adhesive force for a solid surface than water. So if you are using for a solid surface, suppose any of the solid surface you have, and you are using water and gum for the same solid surface. So with the same surface, gum molecules will interact more in comparison to the water molecules. So it means that force of adhesion is greater for the gum in comparison to water. So that you can understand, it means different substances are that have different adhesive forces. The second one, let's see now, that is cohesive force. So cohesive force is now what? Whenever the force of attraction that is acting between the molecules of same substance, like water is formed by number of H2O molecules. So the one H2O molecules that is binding with the other H2O molecules with the help of some attraction forces. So that attraction force through which two water molecules are bind together, that is known as this cohesive force. So this is now known as simple cohesive force whenever it is acting between the same molecules of the substances. So here you can see now adhesive and cohesive forces. If cohesive force is greater than adhesive force, then what will be? And if adhesive is greater than cohesive, then what will be? Obviously, cohesive force will act in all substance, because substance is made up of a large number of molecules. Then the forces that is acting between the molecules of only one substance, then that is known as cohesive. But whenever two substances we have, their molecules are interacting, that is adhesive. So whenever cohesive force will be greater, then that time obviously they will not interact with the molecule of any other substance. So like water is weighting the solid surface, solid glass container, but if suppose the water molecules cohesive force and as well as glass molecules cohesive force, if both are very greater in comparison to the adhesive force that is acting between glass water molecules, then that time water will not weight the glass surface. Like you can see the example of mercury. whenever you are putting mercury on the glass surface, then that time mercury contains in its own shape, it is not weighting that surface, because the cohesive force of mercury molecules, that is much greater than the adhesive force that is acting between mercury and the salt surface molecules. So these two things are now clear. Next one, cohesive and adhesive forces, that are van der Waals forces. So as we have four types of forces in nature. One is gravitational, second is electromagnetic, third is weak forces, fourth is strong nuclear forces. So these are now called the weak forces, because you can see the strength of these forces are very less here. So these are also known as van der Waals forces, because they are not. So as the intermolecular forces, you have seen the attractive force that is varying with the 7th power, inversely varying with the 7th power of the distance, and also the attraction force that is varying with the 9th power of the distance. Then it means that these two forces are not obeying inverse square law. That's why they are called weak forces and van der Waals forces, because their strength is much weaker than that one. Now after this discussion on intermolecular forces, let's see now the next topic here, that is intermolecular binding energy of a liquid. So what is now the intermolecular binding energy? If you have to define it in one word, the intermolecular binding energy of a liquid is minimum energy required to separate two molecules of a liquid from each other influence. So means as you know, the two of the molecules that are just binded by the force of cohesion. So as cohesive forces is acting between two molecules, then if you have to separate two of the molecules from each other, then obviously it means that you have to apply some of the force on this one, and you have to do some of the work whenever you have to separate two of the molecules from each other. So the work done, or the energy that you need to do that work, that is known as the binding energy. So it means that simple, that from that energy they are binded together, we need at least that energy or greater than that energy to separate them. So this is now known as you can see here intermolecular binding energy. Now students, I think this is all clear. Now let's start our next topic, that is, I told you also in next previous class, that is very important concept here, and that is the concept of surface tension. So let's see now what is surface tension. But before that one, let's see some terms that are very important to understand the concept of surface tension. So before starting this topic, I will discuss all that terms here. So first term that is very important, that is the topic of first one, molecular range. So let's see now what is molecular range. So molecular range, first let's see the first term, that is molecular range. So it is the maximum distance up to which a molecule can exert some measurable attraction on other molecules. Means as you have seen in the graph that we have plotted in previous class, in that one, up to certain limit the molecules are applying attraction force. Beyond that limit they starts to be repulsive in nature, or they starts to just do nothing to the molecules. Then it means that up to certain limit they will there will be the force of attraction, and that maximum limit or range, that is known as molecular range now. So I think this is clear, and if you will see, that is different for different substances, like order, if you will see in solid and liquids, its order is near about 10 to the power minus 9 meter. Means the molecular range is up to some nanometer that we are observing. Next, the second important term here, that is sphere of influence. So what is now the sphere of influence? So it is, you will see, it is an imaginary sphere drawn with the molecules as center and molecular range as radius. So it means that if you will see in any of the suppose system, any molecule is here, and obviously this molecule that will impact any other molecule that is in surrounding of this one. So if this molecule in surrounding, you will see, and up to the limit where it can attract any other molecule, that will, you know, like molecular range just now we have discussed, maximum range up to which molecule can exert attractive force. So if you will just find out all that ranges, suppose up to this maximum range it can apply the attraction force, and if you will just meet the locus of these all, you will take the locus of this, then a sphere you can obtain, and now this sphere is known as sphere of influence. Means up to this limit, up to this spherical limit, if any of the other molecule that is beyond this limit, that will not interact with this water, this molecule. But whenever it will come at the surface of this sphere or inside this sphere, then that time it comes into the range of molecular attraction of this molecule. That's why that will be attracted here. So this is now our concept of sphere of influence now. Now let's see the third concept that is very necessary to understand surface tension, that is surface film. So what is now the surface film? It is the topmost layer of liquid at rest with thickness equal to the molecular range. So if you will see all the molecules in the surface film that has additional potential energy as compared to negative potential energy of the molecules in the interior of the liquid due to the cohesive force between molecules. It means that here you can see liquid that is moving in layers. Different layers have different velocities, different layers has different thickness. So the topmost layer that is near about at rest, and if it is at rest, it means that the potential energy there that is very greater in comparison to the lower one, because lower layer is more moving layer in comparison to the upper one. So that the thickness of that topmost layer up to that it is near about at rest, that is known as surface film. Because here we are understanding the concept of hydrostatic, where liquid should be at rest, and topmost layer that is very important to understand, that is at rest under the even influence of cohesive forces that is acting between the molecules now. Now students, let's start the main topic, that is the topic of surface tension. So to start the topic of surface tension, first let's see some of the observations that we have done in our daily life. So we have observed that the liquid that is in a small quantity, like a liquid drop, you will see, that is at rest, free from external forces like gravity, always tends to have a spherical shape. So you have seen whenever some of the bodies that like water drop, liquid drop, you have seen oil drop, you have seen, that all are trying to just take the form of spherical shape. You can understand it is basically take that some drop of oils and just put that drop on the liquid surface or water surface. So on water surface, as cohesive force of oil that is greater than the adhesive force, then it doesn't weight the liquid's water surface, it doesn't mix with that one. So small spherical drops you can see on the water surface. So that shape, small spherical shape, only that why they are occurring here. So it means that obviously you will see the spherical shape that the body have tendency to acquire. Why they are acquiring that one? Only to attain the stable equilibrium. So as you know, for a given volume, sphere has least surface area. So as a sphere has least surface area, then it shows that the free surface of every liquid at rest has a tendency to have the least surface area. So it means that whenever the system is in free state, that is at rest, that has tendency to be in equilibrium state, and to maintain its equilibrium, its surface area should be minimum. So the minimum surface area is possible for the spherical body. That's why liquid has tendency to acquire the shape as the spherical. So I think this is now clear. So that's why all the small droplets that always try to acquire the spherical shapes whenever they are hitting from each other or they are working. So like a raindrop, water drop, all you have seen in this one. So it means now you can see here in this whole of the process, while doing so, the free surface that behaves as it covered by a stressed membrane. So as the free surface has tendency to minimize its surface area, and to minimize it they are acquiring a shape of, you can say, spherical shape. So that is just like acting as the membrane that has tendency to shrink, that has tendency to acquire the minimum area. So it means that you can say the liquid, the free surface of the liquid that has tension, and that tension is direction of tension that is parallel to the surface. So the tension in the free surface of liquid at rest, that is known as now surface tension. So you can see simple by this whole discussion, surface tension is the property of liquid. Through this liquid is, you can say liquid has tendency to acquire the minimum possible surface area or the maximum, you can say, stable potential energy. So for that situation, to obtain the stable condition, they are acquiring minimum surface area, and that's why they are having the property of, you can say, surface tension. So due to the property that the molecules are containing the free surface of the molecule that is at rest, here the concept of surface film that we are talking, that surface film, that is topmost layer of the liquid that is at rest. So that layer has tendency to minimize its surface area so that it can be at rest, it can have maximum potential energy. For that one, it has only one way. It can have the shape of a spherical shape for the body, and that's why it is starting to shrink in the shape of spherical bodies. So its behavior is just like it is feeling some of the tensions in the upward direction, and due to that the presence of this tension, it is known as surface tension. Means the tension that is acting at the surface to minimize its surface area. So this is, I think, all clear now. So in one word, surface tension, I think we have defined, and that is now clear. So if you have to measure the surface tension, how can you measure it? So to just measure the surface tension, we can see the surface tension of a liquid is measured as the force acting on unit length of the line imagined to be drawn tangentially anywhere on the free surface of the liquid at rest. So if at the liquid at rest, that is at free surface, you will draw some of the tangent, then that tangent is the, you can say, here the direction of that tangent is the direction of this one, and the force acting on that tangent per unit length is known as surface tension. So this is very easy to understand, I think, here. So a simple surface tension in one word, it is, you can define it, force is acting on the unit length, and that is known as surface tension. So S is equal to F by L. Now unit of surface tension you will see. So unit of surface tension is, from here you can see F is force, L is length. So Newton per meter, dyne per centimeter you can have. So these are all now the you can say the units of surface tension. And also the surface tension, that is scalar quantity, because it has no specific direction for a given liquid. For the given liquid, the surface tension that is acting in all possible directions. Now let's see the next thing here. How can we understand the concept of surface tension by some of the examples? So illustrations of the surface tension, let's see by some taking some examples here. The first illustration you can see by taking concept of raindrop. So first is like a raindrop are spherical in shape, becomes each drop tends to acquire minimum surface area due to surface tension, and for a given volume surface area of a sphere is minimum. So obviously raindrop is first example illustration you can do. Second illustration you can do, you can understand by whenever a mercury is splitted on a clean glass plate, it forms globules. So tiny globules are spherical in shape on account of the surface tension. Third one illustration is when a greased iron needle is placed gently on the sphere of water, surface of water at rest, so that it does not prick the water surface. The needle floats on the water surface of water despite its being heavier. So reason is a slight depression on the surface of the water is observed just below the needle, and if you will see that you can see the force that is acting in downward, that is due to the surface tension. So as due to the greasy of surface or greasy iron needle, the surface tension decreases, and due to decrease in surface tension, due to the force that is acting in downward, we can see where the needle is floating, some of the liquid goes in downward direction. So this is also the example of this one. So here you can understand the weight of the needle, that is, if balanced by the vertical component of force of surface tension up to that one, obviously it will float, it will be at rest condition. But whenever the water surface that is pricked by any one end of the needle, then that time needle finishing term. So whenever it will prick, then that time downward force will be greater than the upward force, and due to that then it will start to sink. So this thing you can understand. Now the next example is here. You will see when a shaving brush that is dipped in water, its hair is sprayed out. So what is the reason? On taking out of the brush from water, the water film formed between the hairs, while tending to make the surface area minimum due to the surface, the tension will bring the hairs closer to each other. So that's why you can see the hairs of the shaving brush when taken out of the water are pressed together. So it means that if you have seen this case in your daily life already, whenever you are using any of the shaving brush, you are putting it in water, all the hairs that it starts to spread. But whenever you are taking it from outside to the water, then that time due to surface tension, the film that is formed on the hairs, that starts to decrease the surface area, and due to that they come closer, and this property we have seen only due to the surface tension. So this is all, students, we can see now the concept of surface tension in daily life. Even beside this one, we have a lot of other examples also, so you can search for them by yourself now, rest of the cases. So next case that we will discuss after this one, that is the molecular theory of surface tension. So let's see now how can you understand the concept of surface tension. One concept we have understood already, by the tendency of the surface to keep its area minimum. But other tendency by the molecular theory, how can you understand? So to understand the molecular concept, suppose in any of the container we have some of the liquid. So on this liquid, suppose this is the topmost layer of the liquid that is at rest. So just now we have understood the concept of surface film. So in that case of the surface film, the topmost layer that is now that should be at rest here. So this is the topmost layer that is at rest. Suppose this layer is now KLMN. These two layers we have. This is topmost layer. Now the water molecules, obviously they are at everywhere. They are on the, from this point to this point. So if suppose we are considering two of the three molecules here, about one molecule here, one molecule inside this topmost layer, and one molecule at the surface of this topmost layer. So first one, as you can draw the sphere of influence for this one, because it will interact with all possible molecules that are outside this one, means up to the molecular range it can influence. So you can draw a molecular range, and you can see here equal and opposite forces will act in every possible direction. So it means that whole of the, if this molecule A is acting with other molecule, and in opposite also it will act with other molecule, the two forces will be equal in opposite. That's why they will cancel out each other. So the net force that will act on this molecule A, it will be 0. So this molecule that is in the interior, this is not experiencing any kind of force. This molecule B will see, it will obviously apply up to the molecular range the forces. This application of this one you can see here. But you can see now in this case, if you will draw its sphere of influence, this kind of sphere of influence you can draw, and you can see now, suppose this force is equal to this one is, all these are cancelling out, but this one is not cancelled out by anyone, this one is not cancelled out, and also you can see this force that has greater strength in comparison to this force. So it means that upward force in this case is lower than downward force. So net downward force will act in downward, that will tend to bring this topmost layer in downward direction. Similarly on C also you can see all the forces that will act only in downward direction, no of the force will act in upward direction. So it means that a net downward force will act. So on this topmost layer it has tendency, or it has net force in downward direction, that's why you can say the topmost layer has tendency to minimize its surface area so that it can go in downward direction, means a tension that is acting in downward direction. So all the surface or liquid you can see all the forces that are acting in downward, so obviously that will minimize its area, and that's why they are acquiring surface property of surface tension or minimum surface area. So students, I think surface tension concept is very clear to you. So let's end our class here today. Thank you students.